We just had an insane hailstorm. I left the max air fan open. Let it come and assess. So we got the fan installed on the roof yesterday, and today it is time to do the next step. We got Niblet playing on the grass. Hey Nibs. Hey bud. It is time to do the insulation. So we've got the roll of 600 Thinsulate for the walls, and then we've got the Thinsulate for the floors here. So let's get to it. So it looks like I've got some cleaning to do before I start the insulation. My mess. Got the van all cleaned up. I wanted to make sure I swept the floors because when I was drilling the roof yesterday, lots of little metal filings fell down. I put a little plastic bag up there, but because there were hot filings, they burnt right through the plastic bag. So ended up on the floor, and I wanted to make sure I swept that out because those metal filings will scratch the paint and then you can have rust issues and everything. But yeah, we're ready. So this is my setup. I used a ladder to keep the Thinsulate in place as I rolled it out. I bought brand new scissors, all different types of scissors. So when I started cutting it here, I thought that I wouldn't have any issues, brand new pairs of scissors. Well, it turns out I tried all the different styles that came in this package and none of them did the job. It was painful. It's a really good idea to invest in a decent set of scissors. So I just returned to the hardware store. I was using these scissors that I bought at Canadian Tire, but they just weren't working well at all. So I spent the extra money on this set of scissors. They've got little serrated edges on them. They feel real tight, so I really hope that these work, because when you don't use really good shears on this stuff, it makes the job twice as hard as it should be. So let's see how these go. Here I am measuring out the different little holes and getting the sizing correct. And I got to try out my new scissors here, and man, it is amazing how well they work. So great news, it made my job way easier. It was like cutting through with butter. Well, not with butter, but like cutting. It cut through it like butter. How's that? So that's the piece that I just cut out, and I'm just adjusting it and getting it in. There are little, slots throughout the van, and you got to try and like cut along them. So that's what I'm doing right there. I'm just squeezing it into place. The lower cavities of the van without any insulation in them. This is a shot I took right after insulating the lower parts. Took quite a bit of work. Now this is a piece of poly with some sort of weatherized goop around it. I peeled it up and got the passenger side door filled in. We've got our first big portion for a window cutout here. I've cut out a couple of the windows with the Thinsulate, and I've actually hung them using mechanics wire here just to set them in place before I glue them. So here's a good example of what I was just speaking about. You see that I've got all these cuts in the insulation. I've measured where each slat is. So there's different spots even within these cubbies that have slats that are welded to the external body panels to hold them in place. And I've put a slit in each one of them so you can see that I'm fishing through the Thinsulate through the lower part. And the reason I did it this way instead of just placing one big piece and one big square piece in there is because I feel that this will hold everything into place a lot better. It takes a little bit more work, but I think it's worth it. Yeah, buddy, come on. What do you see, bud? What do you see? Hey, what's there? This is Niblet. He's a good boy. Well, it's a little rainy and it's a little gross out. Actually, it's been raining all night. The floors, or the ground's completely saturated. But I've put it off long enough today. I've been in the house too long. It's time to do the insulation of the floor. You can see I still haven't glued my side insulation or my roof insulation on yet. Everything's cut to spec and ready, but I want to make sure that I'm not in here. I give a whole day for this to have all the doors and windows open to ventilate. I don't want to breathe in that glue as much as possible. So let's get the floor cut out. Let's get it ready. Well, here I am trimming out the floor. I was doing a lot of research. Everybody says that you should use 3M90 spray when spraying on your adhesive for the insulation, but I couldn't find it anywhere in my town, and I didn't want to drive 2 hours to the big city to get some, so I just used 3M Super 77. What do you say, bud? Hey, what do you say, Niblet? You good boy? You good boy? Now that the floor has been cut and all of the insulation is measured to size, I removed the floor insulation just so that I could glue all of the insulation panels to the side. The Super 77, 3M Super 77 that I used for this job really worked well. So if you guys are anything like me, having any issues trying to get the 3M90 adhesive spray, be confident that the 3M Super 77 will work awesome. It held strong for me the entire time. So no issues. Great with the roof paneling as well. There is one piece of insulation that's about 3 feet wide that spans the roof. That was probably the most difficult piece to get on just due to the sheer weight of it. But after a little bit of fiddling, I was able to get it into place. This was the first roof piece that I put up. Took a little bit of work to get this piece in just right, but I was really satisfied with how everything turned out. That concludes the insulation installation. The next video is going to show the floor and how I started the process.